I've been invited down to the beautiful house of photography. I'm not just saying that because one of the guys there is filming at the moment, to check out, of course, this beautiful new camera, which is the Fujifilm X1/2. And yes, it does look tiny in my hands because it is a nice tiny camera. The camera itself has that sort of retro design that you're expecting out of a Fujifilm camera, and like I said, it's nice, small and compact. You do actually have an aperture ring on the camera, as well as everything you'd really expect. It does have a lever action to it as well, which opens up certain functionality. The first piece of functionality here is having a 2x1 image, which you literally do by taking a photo, winding on the lever action, and then taking another photo, and then inside of the camera it will create a 2x1 collage of it in a sort of like film retro aesthetic. It's quite a cool piece of functionality, and it allows you to do something different here. The other thing you can do with the lever action is when it's in its film camera simulation mode, you can use it to crank on to the next photo. It's 240 grams with the battery and the SD card inside, and it is of course a portrait orientated camera just in general. It does have a 17.79 megapixel sensor, I believe that's right, and then you've got a 10.8mm f2.8 lens, which is a 32mm equivalent. 32 mil is a great kind of focal length to shoot. It kind of gives you sort of like a natural feel to the images. The camera does actually shoot video, still in that portrait mode. The video quality is just full HD, it's not 4K. What I'm going to do now is just check out a little bit of the video. So I'm going to change it from still to video, and it's on Astia now. So let's have a play, shall we? You're not going to be expecting super high quality video here, but what you are going to get out of it is video that appears more honest and a little bit more kind of like freehand. It doesn't have any stabilization, and this is the audio from the actual camera. Of course, the camera is not stabilized in any stretch of the imagination, but you are able to put the effects on the videos as well, so you can add a miniature effect, or in this case, I believe I went for a toy camera or retro one. This is a camera that I think a lot of people are going to look at and laugh just a little bit, because, you know, it's completely changing what a camera should be and what a digital camera should be in particular, because you've got cameras like the Pentax 17, which is a film camera, half frame. This is a half frame digital camera. And with the fact that it's a digital camera, you've actually got the ability to shoot as many photos as you want, unlike film where you've got to keep developing film again and again. It's got a number of really awesome kind of like features inside of it as well to make the experience of doing photography a lot of fun for you guys. This camera's not really about the specs. You can have a look at them, and it's a camera that does specs great. It's something you shouldn't focus on. It's the experience, and it is something that is actually quite evident when it comes to the camera itself, being pretty much controlled throughout with a touchscreen, with about 4 buttons overall being on the camera. This is a simple and easy to use interface for people that just want to do photography. But if you are a professional photographer or used to photography, you do actually have the ability to use full manual modes and all of the other things that you'd expect. That is apart from raw photos, so you just get JPEGs out of the camera. If you have a look at the XM5, the XT50, it's all about the user experience, and that being the most important part. And then with that, you've kind of got an almost, I would say, game-like function inside of the camera, where you can actually convert it to pretty much a film camera, where you're using the film advance lever, taking photos. You can choose between 36, 54 or 72 images, and you can just take it and it'll create a roll of film, which you then use the app to develop, and you've got a contact sheet. So in that retrospect, it kind of gives you sort of like a gamification of photography. This being a mode I think people will generally enjoy and take up, but it's going to be interesting to see people's reaction, as it's sort of a added limitation on how many photos you can take, but not really, because you can still take multiple rolls of film and develop them all a little bit later. What I'd most like in this is when you buy like a minimalist phone that doesn't have all of the social media apps on it, where it literally just has what it needs to take photos. Still is interesting. The camera actually has a new app for it as well that's specifically designed for this camera, where you can transfer the photos, develop the films that you pick up, as well as create those 2x1 images. They're not singing or praising the specs, because the specs on the grand scheme of things aren't crazy, With this camera, it's about experience. What you see and how you see the world is one of the most important parts. And that is the case with Fujifilm cameras, just in general, how you really see the world. I do currently have this in the film simulation mode. I have only currently shot 9 shots with it so far, just because I really want to see the contact sheet. So that's the thing about this camera, is that it's really designed with the idea of, you know, simulating what it's like to have a film camera, but also having the benefits of a normal digital camera. That's where it really comes in. The photos aren't all about being perfect, the perfect composition, the perfect way of looking at things. With the film mode as well, you've got to actually scroll on the film like you would in a normal film camera to actually be able to take the next photo. And it's all about that kind of simulated experience. And yes, they could just make it as easy as possible. No, you're not really limited to 36 shots. The way I'd best describe it is that it's a sort of gamification of taking photos. So you collect film, or you only use 36 shots for a particular event or something you're shooting, and it just makes the process a little bit fun. A while ago I did a video on limitations, and limitations allow you to really exercise your photography skills that much more, and this camera is really all about that. So inside the camera you've got 13 film simulations, cut down from the usual amount of film simulations in the other cameras. And really what they've done is kept the main ones. So the current lineup is Classic Negative, Nostalgic Negative, Eternia, A-Cross, Sepia, Provia Standard, Velvia, Astia, Classic Chrome, Real Ace, and then Classic Negative again. And then with that you've also got some of the Instax functionality heading over this way as well. When it comes to the effects you can actually put onto your photos. So you got some really added nice effects here, and you can actually apply these to both photo and video, which is actually a little bit interesting. I did use these to great effects with the Instax Wide. So of course we have lightly expired film, toy camera, miniature, high key, dynamic tone, partial color, canvas, retro, blur, color shift, double exposure, halation, which give you a great amount of kind of creative options, but it is baked straight into the photos, so it's something you can't change after the fact. I'm going to swipe left to go into filters. I'm going to change it to miniature. Of course, there's a lot of different other modes there. This just basically changes the focus plane a little bit and makes it a little bit creative. Miniature really being one of my favorites that I'd probably end up using if I had this camera, as it kind of gives a sort of like lens wacky approach to it. We've done a video on lens whacking before if you're interested, but I do actually like the look and feel of these shots. It's a 17.79 megapixel sensor. It is 1 inch, which, you know, isn't fantastic on the grand scheme of things, but I think it's enough for what you really get here in the camera. The camera is fundamentally not designed to take high quality, super sharp images. It's designed to give you a certain feeling to a shot, very similar to your old fashioned digital cameras. I'm on 17 shots so far. I kind of am rapid firing here. We've only got it for a very short amount of time. I want to get through the contact sheet and also try out some effects there as well. Hopefully grab some cool stuff. This is a cool area. Which, I don't know, that's more for you to really gauge there. Overall, it's a very pretty camera, really nice and small, and I know what you guys are probably going to be saying. It's like, Stuart, why is your camera, why are you making that camera look so small? I will admit the film, like the fully film simulation mode, is something I feel like you're going to have to get used to before, you know, actually using it proactively more and more. But I think when it comes to people's response to this camera, it's going to be one of the most interesting things, because they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it, or somewhere in between. I don't know. I think in today's age where we're just constantly relying on like looking at TV screens, looking at your phone for how things are composed, if you're using the camera out there, it's nice not worrying about that, because it does appear to lock off most of the functionality of the camera. You can come out of it, of course, if you really want to. Really about the challenge of taking a photo and, you know, not knowing what you've got. Because all these photos may not actually be fantastic. They may not be great. But part of that experience is just going out and actually taking the shots, just seeing what you get. Photography is all about experimentation, and when you think about it, this is probably one of the most experimental cameras that people could get. I recently did a video on a camera of a similar size, but it's actually a 35mm film camera, and what was nice about that is that all the settings were automatic. It took all of the sort of like, all of the unneeded kind of like extras out of taking photographs, and it's perfectly acceptable. It does what you need when you need it to, and it's going to be interesting to have a look at this contact sheet to see if I've actually got any photos, because I'm doing street photography very similar to what I would do out of like a camera like this, where every now and then I use the rangefinder viewfinder, the OVF, but then for the most part I'll end up just generally shooting what I see, and use kind of like my knowledge of lenses in order to compose the shot. Of course, this is going to be very different, and being able to do that with this camera is going to be very different because the sensor's portrait rather than landscape. Fear not, the camera does actually have a flash, so if you're using this in darker situations, say at parties, family events, you can still get exposed shots. It's a camera that's limited in a lot of ways, but in other ways, it's just a lot of fun to use. This is where the real question comes, really. Does the specs and what the camera do actually make it an attractive model for you, or something that you'd actually enjoy shooting with? And it's something you've got to decide yourself. What I can say is at the moment, really enjoying just the film simulation mode, well, the full film simulation mode, where it's actually pretending to be a film camera rather than pretending something that it's not. Not even pretending, being a digital camera. Okay, that marks the end of the 36 shots that I've taken. Now, I'm gonna have to go back to the Fujifilm House of Photography to get it processed into a contact sheet, but you'll see that now, along with some general thoughts as to how cool it is. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far, actually. Well, I'm filming, apparently. One of the things you're probably remarking upon is how small I'm actually making the camera look with my gigantic hands. They are, due respect for the size of it, I'd actually say it's a really lovely size, at least initially in the hands. Overall, I took around about 114 photos, and I'm just going to have a look through some of them. Not necessarily dip too far into detail. Again, this isn't a detail-orientated camera. This is more about sort of the feel of the actual photos. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's just check out some developing parts to it. There were some photos that I was actually really quite happy with when it came to just general kind of like artistic feel, and I did have the grain mode on in this camera. There are two settings for grain mode: an intense, a medium, which is what this was, and then that off entirely. So if you're wondering why the grain's there, it's because I left it on for the entire shoot because I was just enjoying it, essentially. Because of that 1-inch sensor, you're not expecting a massively low depth of field, neither are you expecting crazy quality here. But what you are getting is an old school digital camera kind of feel, but you can still really get some great photos. Like this particular photo I was actually quite happy with, and maybe we could even put a preset on it, and it actually looks pretty decent there. Overall, you can get some really great stuff with, and even with a preset, it looks like it's come together quite well. I mean, zooming in, it's just basically mush, but overall the photo itself does look pretty good. This guy right here was taking some photos of some flowers. I don't really know why, but overall the composition with the doors and everything like that I was really quite happy with. And this is something that you kind of had to constantly adapt and hopefully get the photos, especially when you're working in that film mode, because you've just got the OVF. You kind of really need to understand how the camera shoots and making sure that the positioning is where you want it to. I mean, there were some times where perhaps I didn't necessarily grab the photo I wanted. For example, this one, I wanted them a little bit more to the right, but because I was using the OVF, I kind of leaned it a little bit more to the left. So if you are looking to get a camera like this, or this camera in particular, something you need to get the grips of and understand. And also, just to mention, I've also got the date stamp down the bottom there as well, and you know, it looks quite cool. You gotta love a little bit of that sort of like retro design. For street photography, I do believe this camera, you can get some really decent street photos, sort of like a camera you would take on holiday in order to fill out a certain kind of like aesthetic to the images in which you're taking. For example, this one, I did actually follow this lady, sounds a little bit better in my head than it does there, to be able to capture this image with the lanterns, and you know, it just kind of came together. Looking at the film contact sheet now, you actually have what appears to be a sort of a vector image. So this isn't actually like a contact sheet that has actually been, like, it's not a photograph of a contact sheet, it is actually like a vector image that they have just put all of the images on there and produced something pretty cool. I quite like the idea of this. I think if you're talking about adding sort of like a photo challenge to yourself, this is something that I would be quite happy to post, as you know, it just kind of rounds out the trip and you can look to tell a story with it, you know, as it kind of almost becomes almost comic booky in that retrospect, but it's a pretty cool effect. Moving on to the photos I took after I went through the film mode, we have all of these ones. Shooting in this location in London, you can get some just beautiful photos and stuff that you ultimately would be happy like reminiscing about in the past. This isn't a professional's camera. These aren't photos that you would necessarily give to a client, but what they do, and they do really well, is create a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain feel about them. Especially when you start playing with some of the effects, the different film modes, you can really get shots that you can look back on and be like, okay, this was, you know, this is a really cool thing. Shots like this, I mean, it's the idea of this effect is to make it look miniature, so it's kind of blurring out the top and the bottom. And yeah, that's really quite cool there. Something I didn't test out, because when it came to the Instax wide, you could actually change the angle of things using the front dial. So this is something which I'll probably have to follow up on. If you guys want me to do a follow-up video, then put in a comment in down below. I did actually quite like the video mode to it. Support video, that's fantastic. And I think you can get some quite sort of like powerful sizzle reels of events or things that you're doing, like super sharp images that you would see from your phone, to something a little bit more honest and a little bit more, you know, freeing. And that's something I would say about this camera, is that really when it comes to how I felt when I was shooting it, is I just kind of felt free. I wasn't focusing on how powerful my camera was and if it would be able to take a photo in a particular way. What I was doing is capturing just what was around me, things that interested me. Maybe there was some interesting light, or there was just an interesting subject, and it was just stuff that wasn't absolutely crazy, but it was telling a story, showing off a particular location, and just having fun with it. The camera, yes, it's going to be interesting to see people's response to it, and I honestly applaud Fuji for being brave enough to create a camera like this, because it might be heavily scrutinized, but I honestly really enjoyed using it. It was something that I think I'd use again in the future, and yeah, what else can I say? If you like this video, please like, follow, subscribe. If you want to see more, I want to see some comments in down below as to what you think of the camera, as I believe it's going to be maybe controversial. I don't know, but I'll see you next time. Hope you have a good day. Thank you.